Hey everybody, welcome back. Tonight we're going to be doing my 300 subscriber Q&A video. Meant to do this a little bit ago. I'm at like 320-ish subscribers now. But yeah, sorry for the delay. First of all, before I dive into these, thank you so much to everybody, to all of you that have subscribed to the channel and everything, and watch my content and everything like that. You guys mean so much to me. It is so cool to have this many people care about what I'm talking about and everything. Because I know this channel, is not the highest quality channel or anything in the world, and there are people that talk about similar things that put a whole lot more, I would say, like, time and effort into their videos. And those people should get attention. A lot of these people were actually nice enough to submit questions to me, and I've been able to make friends with a lot of people through YouTube. But it's always been this sort of like hobby sort of thing for me, and it's definitely not like my career, and I treat it like I just never really wanted it to feel like work, so that's kind of why my content has sort of stayed the way that it is, and I thank you all for sticking around with that, and evidently liking what I'm doing here. But if you're watching this for some reason and you haven't subbed yet, please consider hitting that subscribe button down below. It means a whole lot. Also, a big thank you to everybody that supports me on Patreon. You guys are amazing. And yeah, let's get into it. I've read some of these beforehand. I put them all onto like a list here on my phone. But I don't have straight answers to everything just yet. So some of these answers are going to kind of come live. And I might even have a better answer that I'll probably comment in the future. But thank you to everybody. I asked on Twitter, which if you don't follow me on Twitter, it's at Miasma, and on various Discord servers that I'm involved in. People to submit me up to 3 questions. If you're a patron, you got up to 5. Yeah, I got some good responses here. First is, oh, by the way, everybody that asked me a question that is also a content creator, I'm going to link their YouTube channels in the description box below because they're all awesome people and certainly deserve your attention as well. So first up here, J-Chip from the J-Chip Show, probably, no offense to everybody else, but my best friend on the internet. I don't think I'd be doing YouTube if it really wasn't for my contact with him and the support that I've gotten from him. And he's just a genuinely really cool guy and a very, very good friend of mine. He asked me, what advice would you give yourself when starting YouTube? If I can go back in time, it's interesting for me because this channel started as, it was supposed to be sort of like a group effort called Gyre Media, that if you go back to the early videos in the channel, some of them will have like an intro and will be referenced as Gyre Media. And what Gyre Media was supposed to be was a collaborative project where like I would talk about like anime and some game stuff and stuff like that. I had another friend that was much more of a gamer that I wanted his content to be on that channel as well. And I was thinking we'd maybe like talk about like music or other things, but we were gonna have sort of like a myriad of content on here. Kind of, I mean, it's sort of like that now, but my friends are bigger gamers than me, and just have a I guess broader sense of hobbies than me. Even though mine is pretty broad, but I think I just wanted like sort of more voices on here. And with that, I kind of wanted like the daily content kind of thing and stuff like that. Unfortunately, with work and everything, the people that I was aiming to start the channel with couldn't really commit to the time frame and weren't super interested anymore. And we're still friends. It's not no animosity or anything. But I eventually like took it over, renamed it Miasma Senpai, and we've been going at it since then. I guess if I could talk to myself like back then, I suppose I would say like just do what's making you happy and try to don't always aim for like what you think is necessarily going to be the most popular. Because I think when you constantly try to aim for like what's just going to get you clicks, I think that gets boring. And I think you're not going to be able to commit to that. And I think if you are making videos or that's the stuff that like you want to talk about and what interests you, then your personality sort of shines through that. And the people I think that you want to form a community with based upon your content are going to watch your content and interact with you about that. And if you're just trying to like pretend, and I've done videos in the past that I'm not you know, I don't think I would like do again. And I make some content sometimes that I don't think I kind of just think is sort of like spur of the moment kind of thing. Like I used to not really be like an episode review guy. I've slowly sort of liked it over time. It's really dependent on the show, but it's also a big responsibility that sometimes, especially if a show comes out on a Saturday and you're kind of busy on Saturdays, Yashahime, uh, and it's sort of like a commitment. But I realized a long time ago that I'm not aiming to be like the most popular anime manga YouTuber out here, and I do this for fun, and I think I would just tell myself, make sure you're doing it for fun. And if you want it to be a career, then you probably have to go down a whole bunch of different avenues of hiring editors and stuff like that. And I would just say, relax, take it easy, and do what you want to do. And anybody out there that is considering starting their own YouTube channel, do what you want to do. Don't try and be somebody else. Don't try and copy their content because their content already exists. And you're gonna maybe get jealous of like them still being popular and you're making very similar content and not getting the same amount of views. Don't always compare yourself to other people. Try to make yourself happy. And if you try to make yourself happy and if you appear happy and you seem like you're enjoying what you're doing, I think people are gonna gravitate toward your channel. Thoughts on the current meta game in the Yu-Gi-Oh trading card game. So, a small part of my channel, one part of it that I want to keep doing on here more often than I do. I'm a big fan of the Yu-Gi-Oh trading card game. I play locals like weekly and hopefully continually weekly with the virus and everything going on. Hopefully stuff doesn't get shut down. And I think some people have come to the channel from Yu-Gi-Oh. Currently in the metagame, as of late November 2020, I would say it's kind of bad. There's a deck in the game called VW, or Virtual World, that is really, really annoying to deal with. Those of you that don't really know anything about Yu-Gi-Oh, it's just a deck that kind of... It can almost always make this monster that makes this like... makes it so that way like you can't play the game. And, well, it seems like... I like stun decks, and I like funny win conditions and stuff like that. It is... I think it's just... I think it's really annoying when a deck is just so overwhelmingly meta, and but it's kind of how the game goes. It has ebbs and flows and stuff like that. I think it's the game is just about I don't always play meta decks, very rarely. So I kind of just another thing I just treat it for fun. And I know Yu-Gi-Oh is just another hobby of mine that I treat for fun. There's no worlds, there's no regionals going on right now. There's nothing, there's no big events. So I think we're going to get a ban list very soon. I hope that True King of all Calamities, which is the problem card, the problem child, I think he should go on the list. I also think, if I had to just say cards that I think should be banned off the top of my head, True King of all Calamities, Miscellaneousaurus. I guess if you're going to do Calamities, you might as well do Zexal. And... that's probably it for now. Maybe I'll do a video about that. I'll think more about ban list prediction or something like that. But I don't know. Favorite wrestling match? I was only a wrestling fan for a short amount of time. And I kind of like watching random old wrestling videos on YouTube. I think 90s wrestling is so entertaining and cool. I don't know if I have a favorite match. I used to really like Billy Kidman as a kid. So anytime where he's doing the Shooting Star Splash, there you go. And he had a cool tag team with Rey Mysterio for a little bit of time. That was pretty cool. Do I like Coke, Pepsi, or RC Cola? First of all, who the hell is picking RC Cola as the number one? That is the most super indie pick. Well, not sponsored by the way, but I hope that this might answer your question here. I was a Pepsi guy for a long time until I started drinking diet sodas and zeros, which is predominantly what I drink now. And Coke Zero is way better than Pepsi Zero in my opinion. Don't really know why, it just tastes better. So, and that's one of my favorite sodas of all time now. So, I kind of just only buy that, or I get ginger ale. And ginger ale I get a whole bunch of different kinds. So I guess I'm a Coke guy. what's the future looking like for Sugoi Boys? For those that don't know, and there's probably a lot of you that are newer to the channel and don't, Sugoi Boys was a podcast that we did live for a long time. Myself, Dread, formerly known as Art of Anime, and J-Chip from the J-Chip Show, and we've had several other guests on the show from time to time. We have about like 60 or so episodes like recorded here on this channel. Hopefully they're all in like a playlist that I made. If not, sorry. I'm pretty sure they are. And it was just kind of, it was a cool like anime podcast kind of thing. It just kind of got weird with work schedules, especially for me and stuff like that. And it's kind of just dedicating like that amount of time among 3 people. But it's largely on me. I understand that. I do love making content with those 2 guys. I could see why Justin would ask this. I kind of think maybe maybe we definitely should bring it back. It's just in terms of like how, and sort of like when, with time and everything like that, and making sure that we have. It was also getting to a point where like if I had gaps where like I wasn't watching a ton of anime, I really wasn't feeling like I was contributing to the conversation as much. So I don't know. It's definitely something I want to do again. I would love to do segments where like I just like interview anime YouTubers and stuff like that and just talk about stuff. If I could be the Joe Rogan for the anime fandom, that'd be kind of interesting. Maybe not everything that he necessarily believes in. Sorry, I'm really sweaty. My house is like 9 million degrees. But even though it's November. But yeah. It'll come back someday. If not, maybe it'll be like a once a month kind of thing or something like that, or once in a while. But I do very, very much enjoy. I like doing like the episode discussions with Dread. Maybe that's something that I could also do with J-Chip. But yeah, we'll see where Sugoi Boys goes. Either way, we're all Sugoi forever. So, and there's like, if you haven't seen any of them, there's like 60 or so episodes of us just shooting the shit, talking about anime, and it's a great time. Let's see. My good friend Axel Beats, an amazing Inuyasha YouTuber, asks me, who is the worst Inuyasha character? Among the main cast, Shippo. I think Shippo is just not funny and not strong and not worthy of my attention for the most part. As for like anybody outside the main cast, I don't know. Basically, that guy that like turned people into fruit. He was trying to feed people to like a tree so they would turn into fruit or something like that. That creepy looking dude, whatever his name is, I'm sure Axel knows. That guy sucks. But yeah, Shippo. I used to really dislike Kikyo, but I like her more and more as it goes on. And but that's probably a video for another day. My favorite OP. I'm assuming you mean... I don't know if you mean specifically just from Inuyasha. So I guess I'll answer both. From Inuyasha, it's actually easy, because I don't like pretty much any of the Inuyasha OPs besides the final act OP. I don't know the name of it. Sorry. But the final act OP is really good. I can't... Every time I listen to it, it makes me like just think of like how long I've like loved this series and stuff like that. In general, with other anime, God, if one, there's so many great. I'm gonna name a couple. Both OPs from the show called Jormungand, which is an anime that I always push, and like 7 people have bothered watching. Jormungand OP is awesome. The Evangelion OP is really good. The Bebop OP is like classic. The Shampoo OP is like the only rap song I probably will ever like. Multiple Sangatsu no Lion OPs are great. The third Eureka 7 OP, that might be one of my favorites. It's like Taiyo no Manaka Hei or something like that. It's Eureka 7 opening 3. That one's really good. It's actually really hard to like find on the internet. Vinland Saga's first OP is really good. I'm gonna miss some good ones. There's some great Brotherhood OPs. If I had to pick one, now I have to think. I have to think of one that I would listen to every single time, and I don't know. I guess I'll say the Bebop OP, but that's kind of like a it's kind of like a lame answer to say almost, because like pretty much like a lot of people love that opening. I'll say that for now. Maybe I'll eventually do a list of my favorite OPs. It's kind of hard with like trying to avoid copyright things and so forth. Favorite video on your channel? I would ask you, Axel, what is your favorite video on my channel? But I would say I'm really proud of my Sing Yesterday for Me video, just because it was like, I think it was like the first scripted video I had done in like a while, and I connected with that show a lot on like an emotional level, so that was pretty cool. I like that one a whole lot. I have a video called like Go Watch and Read Sangatsu no Lion. That's another one where I was just very emotionally connected to it. And my Thor's video with a lot of like my scripted stuff, just because it just kind of it has like that passion to it. It's not something that I do very often that I probably should do more of. I would say like probably one of those. Those are all really really cool. I like those a lot. They don't necessarily get the biggest like attention. If you haven't watched my Sing Yesterday for Me video, please check it out. I like that one a whole lot, and it's it's a good watch. Thank you, Axel, for your questions. Level 1 Anime Noob. Favorite thing you've watched this year? So in 2020, Tower of God, I guess. That was this year, right? Yeah, I guess I'm gonna say Tower of God. 3 series that you've been meaning to watch for a while now. I'm gonna count one that I've just been continuously watching for like like years. Yu Yu Hakusho. I need to finish it. It's really good. Excuse me. Berserk, 1997. I also want to read it, so I'll probably start. I might not even watch that one. I might just read it because it's kind of what everybody tells me to do. Berserk, 1997. Yu Yu Hakusho. Something that I've put off for like a long time. Trying to think if there's like a big one that I've just kept pushing back. I don't know. More Miyazaki movies, I guess, because I've only seen like a few. I really don't know. I used to always say Bakemonogatari, but I've actually watched one of those now. Yeah, I guess I'll cop out and say more Miyazaki films. Not that I think Miyazaki is like, the absolute greatest thing out there. It might be kind of controversial, but yeah, definitely. And then the others, Yu Yu Hakusho and Berserk. Favorite show from the last 3 years: March Comes In Like a Lion or Sangatsu no Lion. That one I cheated with, and I went through Mal to see what had come out recently. Oh, there's a lot of great shows, like Made in Abyss is really good. But I would say Sangatsu or March Comes In Like a Lion. Fantastic series. It's also on Netflix. So please check that out. It is really, really good. Thank you, Anime Noob. Simrina, also a cool YouTuber. Favorite Inuyasha villain? Naraku. Easy. Naraku is my favorite villain in all of anime. I really probably should do just a video about why he's so great. Although Axel Beats has a fantastic video about him that I may or may not have suggested that he do. But I like him a lot. I like Bankotsu. I like the Band of Seven in general. That's one of my favorite like arcs of the show. Favorite Yashahime theory? Oh, see, I haven't watched episode 8 yet at the time of this recording. So, favorite theory. I guess I like what I've been hearing about if the teacher in the present day is connected to what's his name, Kirin Maru, and my luck that probably got like addressed in episode 8. But if there's some kind of like if there's more connection to the modern world, that'd be very interesting. Who is best girl in either Inuyasha or Yashahime? Simrina, you're giving me softballs here. Sango is best girl in all of anime. It doesn't matter any other anime. Sango best girl. Saber Bear from Twitter. Favorite filler arc or episode? I don't know if you just mean from Inuyasha. If you mean from Inuyasha, I think it's filler. But the stuff with the Naginata of Kenkon, I think that's what it's called, is like Naginata of Heaven and Hell, I believe. And there's this guy. Is it Hoshimaru or Hoshiyomi? It must be. I think it's Hoshiyomi, right? Because the woman is Tsukiyomi. That all makes sense, like stars and moon. But Hoshiyomi and Tsukiyomi is like this couple thing, and there's this crazy Naginata halberd blade thing that was forged by like the essence of 222 demons, I think it is, and it has has power of heaven and hell, and it's like has like a very like evil presence to it and stuff like that. I love how like they address it in the show. He's like, that's the Naginata of Kenkon, and just how they say it, like they say it like it seems, if I remember correctly, it's been a while, but they announce it as like that whole name like several times. Like it's always the meme in Inuyasha. Like Kagome yells Inuyasha a lot. She says sit a lot. He says Kagome a lot. They say, if I remember correctly, they say Naginata of Kenkon like a dozen times in like that short span that I think that was even like an arc. And I don't think that's in the manga. If it is, sorry. In others, I don't know what would be my favorite filler in like other anime. I usually don't like filler all that much. The Star Village in Naruto was kind of cool just because it was like another kind of interesting village to see. Or like when they go to, I like when they go to find out about like the land of sound. I love like the village and like the sort of like the all the villages in Naruto and like learning more about them and stuff like that. I've always been weirdly into that, and they don't really cover it all that much. And I get it; not everybody's gonna be entertained like by that. Do I prefer cell or digital animation? I guess I would say digital because Makoto Shinkai is my favorite director, and a lot of his stuff utilizes digital animation, from what I understand. But there are like Cowboy Bebop was like from like the end of like an era, and that's a beautiful looking show, and I think it was done in cells. But I guess I would say I'm more modern. I guess where I like digital, but I appreciate cells. Who do you think has the best hair, like in all of anime? Jack Atlas, I think his name is, from Yu-Gi-Oh! His hair is always going like 900 miles an hour. Who's that? I can't remember her name. From Blue Exorcist, Shura, I think her name is. She has really cool hair that like kind of looks like fire. I haven't seen it, but there's also that girl from Mobusu Gundam Iron Blooded Orphans, the blonde girl. Has like the longest hair I've like ever seen, and it's like tied up and it's like down like past her butt, and that's ridiculous to me. I think it's funny. Never seen the show, but yeah, I'm gonna say those off the top of my head. From J Dog Kun, another very cool YouTuber. What is your favorite anime and what does it mean to you? Inuyasha is my favorite anime ever. It was the first one that I ever saw. It means a lot to me because I do not think I would be as into the hobby without it. After that, I got into like Full Metal Alchemist and stuff, just stuff that was on Adult Swim. But Inuyasha always stood out to me because I liked how it was sort of like Monster of the Week, and I could just like, it was on like night after night, and I could just like keep watching it, and it seemingly like it went on forever. And it was this cool journey in this very far away and in the past world with like crazy demons and stuff like that. But yeah, I think it was a very cool first step, and I'm very appreciative that was my first anime. Is it the greatest anime? Like quality wise, hell no. Um, but do I play video games? And if I do, which ones? Not really anymore. There was a time, as it says, and I'm wearing an Overwatch shirt. Overwatch is probably my favorite game. I still play it from time to time. I played it really competitively for about a year. Um, maybe a little more than that. I tried to I joined like a couple different online teams, and we entered like big tournaments and stuff like that. And there was a time in my life where I was legitimately coming home from work and playing Overwatch like till bed, and that was not very healthy. Um, it's a fun game and all, and I think it's just more so I'm like a competitive person, and I just wanted to find something more competitive in. Yeah, but it's a good game. From time to time, I will play NCAA Football 14 because I'm a huge college football guy, but that's even on the 360. I play my 360 more than I play my Xbox One. My Xbox One is literally like a Netflix hub, uh, and something I pirate anime on sometimes. Yeah, I play those. That's about it from time to time anymore. I tried to get into Tales of Vesperia, but I just sort of fell off. I'm not really a huge gamer. I never was. I have a whole video about like my weird relationship with gaming, I believe. Yeah, just I didn't play them for a long time, and I'm not as connected to like older games at all because I just didn't play them. Um, what are your opinions on the anime and manga community as a whole? In my experience, it's been far more far more supportive than I ever thought, but also far more cringy than I ever thought, if that makes sense. There are people like you, J Dog, and there are people like J Chip and Simrina and Axel and Anime Noob and all these people in Dread and all the friends I've made on here that are very, very supportive of me, whether I'm making content all the time or I'm making content once in a while. And that's really cool. However, it's also like, it makes you sort of like, I pay a lot of attention to like other people that are making content, and then I see like what's popular, and it's sort of like cringy like what's popular sometimes. It's just like, people that just have the fancy like that have like the fancy like glowing blue and purple lighting behind them, and they're just gesticulating all over the screen and like, wow, can you believe what happened in that Bleach episode? Like, I I get it. I get it. It's statistically proven that that's what it takes to get clicks. I'm just sort of ashamed that that's what gets clicks. Um, or just have like a cringy thumbnail and like somebody's making like a twisted face. But like, can you believe that happened? Like, can we just like behave like human beings like ever? But majority of the people that I talk to don't do that. And there are channels that actually do that are somewhat enjoyable. So, but yeah, so it's an interesting mix, I would say. Um, Warp Bait. Are there any shows you went into expecting to hate and ended up loving, and vice versa? You went in expecting to hate and ended up loving. I didn't think I'd really like Bakemonogatari as much as I did because I just heard that it was a whole lot of talking, and it is, but it was still pretty entertaining. I don't think I expected to hate it though. A show I expected to absolutely like hate. I don't know. I will also say I think Fruits Basket, and shout out to J Chip Show. Fruits Basket was also more entertaining than I thought it would be. But I don't know. I don't really go into anime thinking I'm gonna like hate them. All that much, unless it's like, or if I do, I end up like actually doing like Hinako wants to sleep. Like that was awful, and I knew that was going to be awful. As for the other way, something I thought I would like, vice versa. Handshakers is terrible. Uh, some of the worst animation I've ever seen in my life. Um, oh, this is sort of controversial. Kino's Journey, I fucking hate. I didn't finish it though, so like, it's hard to. I can't really say like, oh, I watched Kino Journey. I watched some of Kino's Journey. I fucking hate it. I thought I was going to like it. I thought it was going to be this cool journey kind of thing, but I just think I don't like the main character. Seems really like pompous to me and just like very like just goes around on her bike and just like goes fixing all these problems, and it's just like, well, why did she's just riding around like, oh, you shouldn't be like this, you should be like this, and it's all like ridiculous circumstances that she's like going into, and I get it, that's sort of like the point, but I don't know, and it's boring, and I'm talking, and I watched the old one, not the new one, but are there any shows you used to like slash hate, but now your opinion has changed? I used to be way more into Shakugan no Shana. I don't think I'd ever like rewatch it again. Uh, that and like Index, just because I think I'm starting to like sort of gravitate towards like those like long light novel type shows. Um, but I would say like A Certain Magical Index and Shakugan no Shana are ones that I like really enjoy like my first time through. That I don't think I would ever want to like rewatch again. Um, and then ones that I used to like hate that I like. Um, Again, I'm too nice, man. I don't really hate a lot. If I hate it, I probably hate it forever. Uh, I don't really know if I have one. That I used to hate that I'm liking. Yeah, I don't really think I have one. You play the Yu-Gi-Oh trading card game and have seen the anime. Any plans on reading the Yu-Gi-Oh manga? Maybe I might do like a taste of manga of it eventually. I know it's like kind of long, so I don't know if I really want. There's already multiple long series I don't want to buy, so um, maybe if it gets like suggested for something like that, maybe I'll consider doing it. But I do know people that rather like the manga a lot. Do you have any anime you watch that you would consider a guilty pleasure? Personally, I don't really believe in guilty pleasures. I'm gonna take this from Digi Nay. Um, where she said at one point that you shouldn't really have guilty pleasures because you shouldn't feel guilty for stuff that you like, and I think that that's a very cool viewpoint. I guess that's like Garzy's Wing, but that's just because it's Garzy's Wing is just so the dub is so bad that it's good, and it's just like a funny meme of a show. You could sort of say Inuyasha, I guess, because it's really not that great quality wise, but it's pretty good. I don't really know if I have another one. But yeah. Um, what is your favorite moment in all of anime? Favorite moment in all of anime? Without spoiling too much, I really like the end of multiple Makoto Shinkai movies. So, the end of 5 centimeters per second, the end of Your Name, and the last moments of Garden of Words are all super, super interesting, and I'll leave it at that. I would say that those always leave me very, very happy. In general, do you prefer anime or manga? I'm leaning more toward manga at this point in my life. I read more manga than I watch like episodes, kind of, especially since I started reading a little thing called One Piece. But yeah, I think I still will always like anime. I just think I'm kind of more gravitated to manga now. If you ask me in 6 months, I don't know if it would be like that. Bob Samurai, an amazing inspiration for me on the internet. What aspect of a generally considered bad or mediocre anime would make it redeemable for you enough to find it enjoyable? And what are examples of that type of anime? Generally considered bad or mediocre. So what aspects of it? I'm always huge on characterization. So I think I would almost argue that good characters save a bad show. I think that you can have a mediocre setting or like plot. It could be mediocre. It could be something that's been done maybe a few times before, or something that's very similar to like another show. But if its characters are, I always look at it like this: if they're wicked relatable, I like them. Or if they're conversely so unrelatable that they're super interesting, then I think that those are cool characters. And if you have those, and if you're able to develop characters and they're not just one note, if they have sort of like character arcs, growth, development, all this, then I think that makes it interesting. And it's sort of, to me, more appealing than the overall story. So, like, I always promote Jormungand, and it is a show that not a lot of people talk about. If they do, a lot of people compare it to something like Black Lagoon because it's another like guns kind of shoot 'em up show. But I would argue it's different because it's, while I like Black Lagoon a whole lot, I think that the some of the characters in Jormungand are just incredibly interesting characters that go on like a pretty interesting journey, and by the series end, you kind of have an interesting viewpoint on them comparatively to the beginning of the series, and what was in between kind of like, did that all like really matter all that much? Like, does it matter if that was sort of like another show, if it wasn't necessarily unique? But yeah, I don't think it doesn't really make it bad. It might make it sort of like mediocre. Um, uh, yeah, I would say like Jormungand would be like an example of that. I'm trying to think another show considered bad or mediocre, but it has something like redeemable about it. Yeah, another like cool action sequences. Like something could be like a generic shonen, but if it has like cool, I'm a big sucker for powers. Um, so it's something like Demon Slayer. Like it's pretty. I think it's pretty like generic shonen, but the fights are really cool. So I think it makes it entertaining. So something like that. I would say if you have strong characterization and interesting fights, I'm probably in. Even if it's sort of mediocre or maybe it's been done before or something like that. I hope that answered your question, Bob. And lastly here, we have some questions from my lovely girlfriend. And thank you for submitting these. How did you get into or introduced to manga and anime, and what prompted you to start making videos? So harking back to like, the very beginning of this, the whole Gyre Media thing. I've made videos on like other channels and stuff before. I had another channel where I did talk about anime previously. But I was really inspired by some of the people here, by Bob Samurai, by Black Critic Guy was a guy that I used to watch a lot. I actually used to watch Glass Reflection and Digi Nay. And just a whole bunch of different YouTubers, and I was like, I like this stuff. I kind of want my voice to be heard, and so I just started kind of doing that. How did I get introduced to manga and anime? Anime was far before manga. Anime was when I was a kid watching Adult Swim, which is Cartoon Network's like late night programming. They used to air anime. And when I was a little kid too, I watched like Pokemon, DBZ, and stuff. But I kind of don't like count that. But yeah, so it's just something. And then manga. I didn't really read manga until like the last few years or so. Just what I kind of wanted to see. How stories were different, or if they didn't have an ending in the anime. Dead Man Wonderland being the first example, I think, where the anime doesn't cover the whole thing, and I wanted to see the rest of it. What's the most underrated manga? Underrated manga. I think Happiness is kind of underrated. It's pretty praised by the people that read it, but I don't think that's like a large group. Happiness by Shuzo Oshimi, who is probably my favorite mangaka. I really wish it would get an anime because it is complete. I wish more people talked about it. See the others, I like heavy hitters. I like Vinland Saga a whole lot. I like Flowers of Evil a lot. Amazing one. Watamode is cool. Noragami is pretty cool. Yeah, I would say like yeah, that was yeah, I guess I would say I like kind of like bigger hitter manga. So I guess I'd say Happiness, very entertaining manga that should get an anime. And then I see here. What is the thing you like most about your girlfriend? What I like most about her girlfriend is that she's really nice. My girlfriend is that she's really nice to me and supports all of my nerdiness, but still is willing to be very uplifting and always try to promote me improving myself and making me feel better about myself and everything. Never really trying to change me, but always trying to still support me when I am trying to be a better person. And she's always there for me when I need her. And yeah, she's very supportive. So yeah, but thank you everybody so much. I'm gonna link everybody down below. that is also a YouTuber. And thank you so much for 307 subscribers. It is, I think it's like 322 or whatever. It's 320 more than I thought. I thought it would be, me and my dad subscribed to me a long time ago. But thank you so much. It really means a lot. This video took a whole long time. But yeah, thank you so much, everybody. Oh, man, it feels really good to make this kind of video. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. It really means a lot to me. My name is Miasma, and I'll see you next time.